Yeah, totally better lighting here. Okay. Hey everybody, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning in this evening, wherever you are. I'm so excited that you took the time out to come to join me on this live. I hope you're feeling good. Hope you had a wonderful day, or you're just starting off your day wherever you are in the world. Hey, today's message is very simple yet profound. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to look over your life and revamp. If there's anything you that if you've been going on a certain path or you've been doing things a certain way, or you feel like you have to go along with what you've done because you've done it so long and you're really not feeling it, like don't be afraid to say, okay, you know what, this is not working. We always have the power to change. We always have the power to like erase that or have a clean slate or just say, you know what, this is not working. Like I can't do it anymore. Like we have that power. And a lot of times we feel like we're stuck in life because we signed a dotted line, because we have committed to something. And I'm not saying like you just break all commitments, like you just, this is not something that, you know, you just don't follow through with anything ever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sometimes in life you may be going down a path or you may be so focused and tied on something that doesn't give you any joy, that doesn't give you any happiness, or something that you may think that you have been doing right the whole time. And come to find out when you're learning and you're growing, you're like, wait a minute, like this, like this path right here, what I'm going down is just not not what I thought it was. And so there's a lot of lessons that I learned from this path and I feel like right now is good for me here and it's time for me to shift and drift to something different, something new, something, you know, a little bit more refreshing or different. That doesn't mean that it was wrong. That just means that you are now changing. And so sometimes the change could be a change within a group of friends, you might have to say, you know, I know we've been hanging out for so long. I know we said we were going to do this and that. But right now, I'm at a different point in my life. I'm at a different stage in my life where I'm not going to be able to, you know, to commit to continue on, you know, hanging out, doing all these different things that, you know, that we used to do. So I'm gonna have to step back. I'm gonna have to, you know, I'm gonna have to scratch this one and y'all go ahead without me. Let me know how it went, whatever. But you're just changing, you're growing, you're developing. And it could be your spiritual journey, it could be with something within your business, your job, whatever you're doing, and you have got to a certain point. You've learned as much as you could in that area, and now it's time to go on another level. And so, other levels sometimes require sacrifice and change. Sacrifice and change. And so, the quicker you can take action to know that, wait a minute, it's time to change now, it's just time to transition, the easier it is. I've been reading this book. I read it a couple times, but I was just starting to read it again today. You know, Who Moved My Cheese? And it had a very, very, very amazing description in there about um, what is it, Snuff and Scurry and him and Ha, you know, how the changes arrived. Like they were so comfortable with what they were getting, with what they were receiving all the time. Like we, right now, you know, these 2 years has been a change. And in this book, they were talking about like how everything was always there. You know, like they had their cheese, they would go every morning, you know, put on their jogging suits and put on their tennis shoes and run, you know, through this maze and get their cheese and look for the best tasting cheese. And the cheese could be anything that you really like. The cheese can be a job, the cheese can be a relationship, the cheese can be money, the cheese can be your concept of your spirituality and whatever it is that you are closest that actually helps you along your journey. It could be religion, it could be any material thing, any physical thing. And when we have this cheese that we feel is the world to us, when it gets moved, we have a decision to make. It's like, okay, are we going to change and adapt, or are we going to fall and tap out? Like, what are we going to do? And so when I talk about change, this is what I'm alluding to. Change, and I keep looking because I have 2 cameras on and then I have this on here, so if you see me looking around, don't trip. When I'm talking about change, is basically when change happens, when things get altered, when things get a little bit, iffy, we have to figure out what is gonna work and what is not gonna work anymore, and that doesn't mean that change is all bad because, what is it? There's a great saying, but my dad always says there's no guarantees in the world. Like there's always a change. Like there's no guarantee that this will be like this forever. Like there is change. Like there's always change. The only thing that's constant is change. Yeah, that's basically what I want to say. Yes. And so when we know that there's change that is going to occur, even in life, even in these pandemic times, that we have to know that change is coming. How are we going to adapt to this? Now, we did the first year, and it was like everything was turned upside down. People didn't know what they were doing, like what's going on with our lives. And and people were basically scrambling because this was new, even though this has already happened in history before, on a different level. People were in mass for years. People, with the Great Depression, there were so many different things where people had to change, adapt, and some people were thriving, becoming millionaires during the times of all of these challenging times. It's just they changed with the times. They found out how to create. They found out how to tap into their inner selves, to their wisdom, to get knowledge, to really, really go in and see how they can create a solution for problems. And so when things happen, such as this is a time now that even though it is one of the most challenging times where people are going into great mental health issues and depression, and so many people are unfortunately getting ill, but there at the same time there are people that are waking up. There are people that are like are grasping the truth. There are people that are really finding who they are and what they want, and they're changing. They've been in lockdown, but they're locking in on who they really are, their purpose, their gift, their talents, and why they were created. And so they're changing, and this is the perfect time. Do not be afraid to change. There's a great awakening right now. If you read on the news. If you read newspapers, or if you watched um, online, or if you've actually seen on TV or whatever, if you watch it like that, there people are, there's an awakening happening, but then there's a great, what is it? ¿Cómo se llama esa palabra que le dicen? Resignation. Yeah, there's a great resignation that people are like leaving their jobs, like on a massive scale. Why is this happening? And some analysts are saying because people are kind of, you know they, for their own reasons, are kind of like going through something where they feel like either they are not going to be able to continue to work in certain types of conditions anymore, or maybe they feel like they want more in life, or maybe they want to use their talents in a different form or fashion, or they're just like, look, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to try to do this on my own. There will be different jobs or things available, but they're taking a bet, they're changing, they're taking a risk. They are saying, look, I'm going all in, I'm playing full out, like we kind of talked about yesterday. And they are changing, they're becoming better, or they're becoming more captive in the situation. And we have a choice. We have a decision to make. We can decide if we're going to stay stuck, if we're going to go into a spiral, cycle downward, or we're going to go upward, or we're going to elevate. And change starts with acknowledging that things will not ever be the same again. And that doesn't mean that, that that's a bad thing. It's just that we have to adapt. It's almost like these are some things that we know when people say, were there any major life changes that have happened that has affected you? Well, we know that marriage, when people get married, that's a huge change in a person's life, not only in the two individuals, but then there is within the both families of the husband and wife. And then we also know that when a baby arrives, that's another huge change. What about a move? That's a change. What about, people pass away? That's another change. There are so many changes, and we have to figure out, are we going to adapt, or we're going to float? Like, how are we going to get through these changes when there's concerns with people that are no longer being able to get together and connect and one on one or like in large groups. What are people doing now? They're either doing virtual, they're doing live events, they're hosting, they're still connecting, they are still finding a way. People now are creating content courses and they're making millions of dollars. There's so many millionaires on the market today, on the online market, and people are sleeping. The Bible says the children of this world will be wiser than the children, what I'm saying, inside the churches. We have to understand that change is happening right beneath our nose. There's millions and thousands and thousands of transactions, monetary transactions every day, spiritual transactions. There's so many that are going over internet, that are going telepathically, that are going within just communication. And we have to change with the times. That doesn't mean that we have to go and do what everybody else is doing. We have to create and we have to change in our minds what we feel is going to be the best for us and the best solution that can help others, because that separates us from just trying to live sort of like day by day, and from creating something that can not only help us, but then help people around the world. So when we create and when we solve problems to solutions, we're creating a change, we're creating a ripple effect, we're creating something that is going to be durable, something that's going to outlast whatever is happening. But when we're able to change, we're able to know what, even in situations that we don't have a definite, when we don't have a for sure, when we don't know that this is what it is, we can count on God, the Most High, to lead, to guide, to protect, to strengthen us, whatever the day may bring. That God will always be with us, that He'll be able to help us to see beyond the beyond. Like we tune and tap into our spiritual selves. We know with the power of prayer, the power of meditation, the power of fasting, all these different things, all these different methods that we can do to say, okay, what is it that I need to know? How is it that I can change? How is it that I can become better? What is it that I can modify? What is it that I can revamp? How can I refine? How can I redefine? How can I master? How can I create self mastery within these changing times and uplift and help other people around the world? Like that is where the change comes from. That is where it comes from within. And then the change starts when we begin to say, okay, this is happening all around us. But if I can take what I have inside of me, create something, and then live full out and do it, then I'm now not only adapting, I'm not just assimilating with the information, I'm adapting, but then I'm also overcoming. And now I have transmuted all the different things that have come at me into something that was once negative to something that is positive. And when people see that and they reflect and they say, wow, well, he is such a positive person. Well, that young man or that young lady is such a positive person. They help me solve this, or they help me to overcome these different issues, or whatever it may be. And it can be in your field of expertise, it can be in your field of study, but we have to elevate. And elevate calls us for a little bit of change. Change may mean that we might have to take up an extra class, we might have to go back to school to learn something, we might have to just do some self-studying, we might have to do some meditation, we might have to get some coaching, we may have to connect with more people that are wanting what we want or already have what we want. We might have to be able to just sit under some people that can really guide and help us along the way and just listen. I know that I have coaches, that have so much more going for themselves, and it's just a pleasure. It's an honor for me to listen to and learn from some of the most brightest people, and these people are millionaires. And I'm just like, wow. I know that if I and it's not just sitting or learning from these people, it's actually implementing and putting in the work. So even though you're with these people, or even though you have this coaching, or even though you may see different people on television and you want to emulate and you want to do these things, if we are not putting in the work, there's no results. So it doesn't mean just because you're connected to this person. Now, connections are very powerful, but if it's going to be long lasting, if it's going to create that powerful change, that long lasting legacy change, then there's going to have to take the inside work that we're going to have to do. And so that is why I am emphasizing, don't be afraid of change. If you've done this for so long a certain way, it doesn't matter what the topic, whatever it is, but like you want to change some things in your business, in your life, in your situations to make you better so that you can do exactly what you really, really want to do and elevate. Make those changes, and you don't have to make drastic changes. You can make changes little by little. But I'll tell you right now, when those changes happen, they are going to feel uncomfortable, but they are going to work for the better because you know now that sometimes you have to turn those puzzle pieces and fix them around just until they fit right into those perfect spaces of where they go. And once those thousand pieces are all put together perfectly, you can see the beautiful change. And guess what? When you change, right? When we work on ourselves, when we work from the inside out, because remember, we can change no one but self, right? It always starts with us work from the inside out and through our imagination, through discipline, through movement, and through action. Then everything else not only begins to change, but people start to notice. People start to take action too. Sometimes it can be where somebody can just watch you. Some people can just want to connect with you or contact you, or some people may want to partner with you. You don't know where your change, where your epiphany, where your growth can come once you are no longer afraid of what can happen. Because remember, when you make those changes, you might have to let some people go. You might have to move to a different area. You might have to, no longer try to bounce every ball or spin every plate. Like it's not going to happen. You're going to have to focus. Remember, if you remember yesterday, we talked about angel numbers 111. Like it's that one thing. It's that one thing to be able to elevate, to be able to scale, to work on that thing. And that's what we have to do. Sometimes when we change something, we have to take away something so that we can focus and really grind on something else that is going to be imperative for the elevation, for the growth, and for the development of us and our self mastery and what we are creating. And remember, it's not just for us, it is for the greater good of humanity. We want to be able to serve and to help other people. Well, it starts with self. It starts with us. So whatever the changes that are going to happen, and whatever the things that need to take forth, we can do it. We can do it with God's help. We can do it, prayer, through fasting, through meditation, through all the different things that are they're going to help us in a positive way. And sometimes it might not be as easy, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So do not be afraid of change, and know that change elevates growth. And when you see those 555s, that's another thing. You know that change is also coming, and just continue to pray, seek first the kingdom of God, the righteousness, and everything you need is coming to you. You are powerful. You are a powerful creator. You are phenomenal. You are amazing. And as you change and become your greatest and highest version of yourself, the world will lay the red carpet down for you because it's your truth. Your change, your transition, your growth is who you are indefinitely. It's who you are at the core being. It is you manifesting, healing, helping. And all those changes have to occur so that you can get to where you want to be in this dimension here on earth, and so that you can elevate and continue on your soul journey back to yourself. All right, I love you. I really, really love you, and I hope you got something from this message. Don't be afraid to change. My name is Tanisha Portier. I am a global innovator for the 21st century. So I know, I feel, I see, say, touch, taste, believe that I'm here to create. I'm here to cultivate my natural gifts and talents by first starting off by helping and healing myself, my family, and then the world. So wherever you are, whether it's morning, noon, or night, I am blowing kisses to the globe. Have a beautiful day. And as always, smile. Wait a minute before you go. My book. This is my book. I'm living truth. Can you see that? I'm living truth. It's possible. Recommit to you. So this is my book. I'm super excited about it. And it's all about you going on your journey and going from the inside out, working. Your truth is always who you are, your self awareness, who you are at a core. And a lot of times we have to pull back the layers to really get back to our gifts, our talents, our natural abilities, and to elevate to our highest self. So I have some amazing nuggets in here, some stories that are really going to help you, that are very practical, that are going to help you along your journey. So I will let you know when the pre-order copies are coming out soon. But make sure that you grab a copy when I post the link. And I'm super excited about it. I know it's going to help you so much. And any other things, any other like requests that you have, or make sure you share this, share this message, comment below. Let me know what more you want to hear. And I'm grateful. I'm thankful. All right. Have a beautiful, wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I'm blowing kisses to the globe and smile.